Hey everyone, Alex from Stratify here. So this is, behind me is our NC 2007 Miata that we've been tuning and we've been working on. It's our latest development car, and we just had an autocross with it yesterday. We've done the dyno tuning. You can see the results compared to the FRS that I've already posted. And you know, in going to an autocross, we've uncovered a few things. So let's just go over these, and I'll show you guys the kind of things that pop up when you're modifying. Some of those you're familiar with already, and let's get them addressed and fixed. So one of the first issues is that we rolled the fenders in here to fit these 255 with tires. They're the ECS, and we run what's called a slush series here at this time of year. It's super wet and kind of cold, so you don't want even a snow tire can do at times in these autocrosses, but these perform pretty well actually. The thing is that in order to get these 255s to fit, they're on a 17x9 with a 48 offset wheel. We rolled the fenders, and then there's this lip here that we didn't roll because it became a little bit hard. So we're going to have to get this rolled a little bit better. You can see that the tire touched that lip on some transitions, and it created a tiny little bit of a groove here. It didn't do it on the other side of the car, but regardless, we're going to be pushing this lip a little bit further. The rest of the roll was successful. There was no other contact. Little things that you find out really when you load the car up in an autocross style situation. You go over some hard bumps under hard acceleration. The front didn't need to do anything here, so you can definitely fit these tires and wheels on the car and have a great time, and they look really good, and they don't rub with just a little bit of work in the back. Underneath the car, everything's nice and clean. It's got a Goodwin Racing exhaust here, which is, it sounds pretty good. Nothing too obnoxious, nothing too loud, 2.5 inch, and we want to actually address that this pipe here is touching that subframe. So I'm going to have to probably space out this brace a little bit here. It's only got a few bolts, so if we put a couple of washers, because sometimes under acceleration you're gonna hit that, you're gonna hear that touching there. So that's another issue that we found out, and we'll fix that right up. So we're gonna deal with the fender rolling first and foremost here. So in order to have a successful fender roll, first of all, let's go over the tools that you need. You're going to need a roller. Now, most rollers look like this. They basically bolt onto the hub right here, and then you have adjustment points to apply the pressure from the roller up against the fender lip that you want to work. And you want to do it slowly, and you want to do it gently, and you want to make sure you don't damage the paint or pull excessively on the fender. In order to ensure that your paint doesn't get damaged, you want to use a heat gun. You want to heat up the paint in the area you're going to be working with. It helps if you have two people. Right now it's just me doing this, and that's fine, but having two people always helps. So you also want to make sure that this in here is free of debris. So make sure that the lip that you're rolling, you can see that this part is already rolled. We just want to deal with this. And the reason why we didn't roll is because we didn't see that the tire would make contact in here when we tested. And we tested by removing this shock, this mount right here. And then we also removed the sway bar. And then you can move this entire control arm and hub assembly up and down. And once you got it moving up and down, then you can see exactly where the tire goes. But we actually, under the bump, we had enough of a compression that, as you saw, it pulled it a little bit. So, and this is a little bit reinforced in here underneath, so that's why we didn't go as deep. So what we're gonna do right now is just clean this up real good in here, and then have this a better transition, so it doesn't, the wheel and the tire do not grab onto this section right here. So let's get the fender roller onto the wheel and get to work. So the fender roller is in place. You just need the two nuts to hold it in place, and then you have this pin adjustment here. A lot of them do, so it really affects how the angle of attack on the fender. And now the fender roller is just kind of loosely in here. And what you adjust is that you can adjust the head angle and how it will attack this this area or whatever else you need rolling. And then you apply pressure by twisting this. So what you do is that you come in gently after you've warmed everything up, and you just kind of, you use your arm to roll back and forth, and then you apply more and more pressure. So by applying pressure is that you basically move this arm inwards and it applies pressure on the fender outwards. Again, heat, gentle working, make sure your work area is clean, and use a quality fender roller, and you should have a really good result from the job. One of the issues that we ran into here is that the fender roller actually runs into the caliper here, and we need to either space out the fender roller with some wheel spacers, or just remove the caliper and have it freely move so that we can get into this section. So now with some patience, some heat as you saw, and then some smooth operation with the roller here, you can see that we got a really nice roll, and nice and smooth, and you know the body line is nicely kept. So that's pretty much all you need here in the back. And what I like to do is that I like to get in behind here with something like LPS3 and just spray it all throughout underneath there, just to prevent any sort of corrosion. There's two seams that actually come together in here, and they're, you know, there's little stampings basically that hold this outer seam to the inner seam in the fender, and you know, you don't want moisture to collect, and something like LPS3 in there really helps to seal moisture out. It's a wax substance, it's not really gonna come off. So there you go. This is one side, and now we have to jump over to the other side and take care of this situation, which is the problem with the autocross. This other side took a little bit more work. So you guys remember how the fender had been pulled out by the wheel, by the tire, rub against it. So now with a whole bunch of patience and just slowly working, and you can see that it's a beautiful curve now that it has. And we will no longer have any trouble running that 255 tire, even on bumpy roads and autocross and so on. So that's that job is done. Let's now get to the other stuff. So as I mentioned at the very beginning of the video, so we've got this brace that is being touched by the exhaust as it, you know, as you get some movement from the engine. So it's a really simple fix here. Basically remove 2 of these 12mm bolts at a time, and get a couple of these washers in between the body and the brace, and that should clearance it enough so that the exhaust doesn't touch it. And yeah, so that should address that annoyance. Now that the bracing is spaced, you can see the washers right there. The exhaust has got enough clearance. We're not gonna have annoying rattles. Just the little things to get it just right. Now I'm going to use some LPS3 here, and I'm just going to basically coat the underside of this. It really helps keep corrosion at bay. Nuts, bolts, all the steel subframes. I'm going to go, as I mentioned, into the wheel archer. The lip is over there. And just get a good coat of this stuff. It's nice and waxy. It stays there for a long period of time. I like to apply it once a year, especially cars that see a lot of wintertime. This is a new car to us, so it hasn't had this stuff applied. We don't have extremely harsh winters here, but I want to keep corrosion out of here as much as possible. And yeah, so here we go to apply some of this to the underside of the car. Car's been corrosion protected underneath, nice and greasy under there. That should keep any sort of the rust at bay. And I recommend it for anyone driving the cars in sort of wintry conditions. It's not going to get a lot of winter driving, but we will participate in more Slush Series autocrosses because it is just too much fun. So keep following this build as we continue building upon the NC chassis. It's really fun to be back into one of these cars. And if there's anything else that we can help you guys with in terms of tuning, in terms of questions, in terms of parts or anything like that, give us a shout, stratifiedauto.com. Or give us a phone call. So Monday to Friday. All right, guys. See you next time, and take care.